I completely forgot that I'm supposed to review this movie, so you know exactly how this is gonna go. Love Hurts was not a good movie. And here's the thing. I knew it wasn't going to be a good movie by the trailer and by the fact that Ariana DeBose read the script and said, I can do this. This is a good idea. And the reason why I thought she was a tell is because I watched her for the first time in a movie called House of Spoils, which came out last year for Halloween season. And that was not a good movie. And so when I saw her in this one, I was like, oh, this is probably not going to be good. But I still expected it. I was hoping it would at least be fun, that it would be silly fun. Instead, it was just silly and not a good time. So the synopsis for this movie is that a realtor named Marv, played by Ki Hui Quan, is a former assassin hitman. He's living a new life as a realtor, but his past comes knocking at his door to bite him in the ass when a former colleague, like he starts seeing messages from a former colleague, so he gets pulled back into that life. His brother is also looking for him, so he has to confront his past and stuff that he had long buried. The plot is weak, okay, because they don't really like Marv's past is very loosely drawn. We don't get to know why he got how he and his brother got into this business. What are some of his missions that he did? Like we get some flashbacks, but it doesn't really illuminate anything. It's just him looking vaguely threatening. So if you haven't seen this movie but want to, I recommend you don't. But if you do want to see this movie, you don't want to be spoiled, I'm about to get into some spoilers and talk about what was like specifically wrong with the movie. Like stuff I wish was better. Because I could have used silly Valentine's Day fun. So first of all, they should have leaned more into Valentine's Day, despite the hearts on this poster, and despite the fact that they kept saying like Valentine's Day, am I right? And we had, I wish the storylines all had to do with Valentine's Day, with love. I think making the Raven and that man, what is his name? Mustafa Shakir, a beautiful man. Having him be a tortured poet, sensitive, that they should have spread that across the board. I wish it was the case that these criminals have this crime drama going on, right? They're trying to kill each other, but they're all very concerned and they take seriously that it's Valentine's Day. So maybe Knuckles, he could have spent the whole movie trying to make it to his date. I also think it was I also think it was good to have one of the hitmen, the white dude, be having relationship problems, and I wish Marshawn Lynch's character had been like seriously someone who is good at giving relationship advice, ironically, and very funny, very good with giving relationship advice because he's used to the people he knows having relationship troubles, and maybe he just got through a rough patch in his relationship, so he's got all this sage advice. Instead, the guy was complaining about his relationship, which was good. It was promising, but like he was giving vague reactions. This was not a strong script. We had like the Raven making a connection and falling in love. There were like hints of what could have been. Marv is in love with his new life. They could have kept that because the actual love plot they gave him with Rose, Ariana DeBose's character, I did not like any of the emoting choices that Ariana made. She kept doing this thing with her face, this like this. I'm like, what is that quirk? Like her Rose gave written by a man who's not good at writing women, right? Like they give her these facial tics. Instead of writing her as a quirky character and like showing, they just put it all in her face, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't like any of the choices that she made. So they give Marv Rose as a love interest. For most of the movie, it seems like it's very unrequited, and he's just pining after her because he flat out tells us that he's in love with her. There's also voiceover in this movie from Marv and from Rose. Did not work. That style didn't work. It seems to be unrequited, and at the very end, he tells her he loves her, and she has this reaction like she's about to reject him unless Ariana just didn't know what to do with her face. And then she tells him that she loves him. Ki Ki Hui Kwan and Ariana DeBose don't have romantic chemistry. They, as they were interacting, and I'm thinking I'm supposed to see something there. They were giving me work besties. They were giving me perhaps work wife and work husband, but not romantic. I didn't see it for them. Rose also was a loosely designed character. She up and decides that she's sick of her normal life. But what was her normal life other than working in that damn bar? How did she connect with the Russians? Like, they just were concerned with putting something out, but not something of quality or even something that is enjoyable. I think Ki Hui Kwan did the best he could do. Like, I feel like Marv, in terms of his job, was grounded, even though he was super super peppy. But it gave overcompensating because he is a killer. But he did his best. But this was not good. I don't know why he chose this project. The fight choreography also, I didn't like it, especially the first fight between Marv and the Raven. It gave someone who's actually a martial artist, which Ki Hui Kwan is, someone who's actually a martial artist versus someone who had to learn the choreography. And I know, like, some people, like, yes, some people, but that doesn't mean they're martial artists. I didn't like that first fight. Some of the other fights too, especially between Marv and um the two, Marshawn Lynch's character and the white dude. I didn't like the choreography was clunky. The jump cuts also didn't there was a smoothness lacking to it, which I can understand because, like, the two lackeys are not martial artists, but I feel like visually speaking, those fights could have been better. And I think that's all I got. I didn't enjoy anything about this movie. I give it a 1 out of 5. I give it a 0.5 out of 5.